What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm back. I've been gone for a few days, but we got some new content courtesy of Club Shay Shay, which is Shannon Sharp's podcast. Hall of Fame tight end Shannon Sharp was interviewing Marshawn Lynch, beast mode, right? And it was a great interview all around. But the conversation moves towards his relationship with Pete Carroll and his star quarterback, Russell Wilson, right? And so, you know, when he started to talk about his relationship with Russell Wilson, he didn't speak terribly bad about Russ, but I believe he spoke his truth. He admitted that him and Russell Wilson were not close at all. And, you know, they didn't hang out outside of football at all. He said that basically Russell was he was a quarterback for him, but they didn't have a tight relationship, right? But when he started to talk about certain things that happened, like certain things that showed how they were aloof from one another, he talked about basically, he said an instance where it was a game they were playing and a team had a terrible secondary, right? And so it was looked at as, hey, Russell Wilson is supposed to dominate these guys, right? But ultimately, the day was a day where Marshawn had a great game running the ball. The ground game was where it went to, right? Marshawn was running the ball majority of the game. And so he said he wanted to reach out to Russ and say, hey, look, I know the day didn't go how you wanted it to go today, but, you know, I'm here for you. You know what I mean? We make sure you have a good game going forward, or we try to put you in the best situation for that next time, etc. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what Marshawn Lynch said he was trying to do when he tried to reach out to Russell Wilson. He gets in contact with somebody, he gets in contact with somebody with the Seahawks team and say, you know, I'm trying to contact Russ. He said, okay, I'll have Russ call you. So Marshawn Lynch is awaiting a phone call from Russell Wilson. A block number calls, but he doesn't answer it because he's like, okay, who is this? This ain't Russ, right? And so the same guy that he reached out to about Russell contacting him, he said, well, hey, did he hit your phone yet? He said, no, man, he ain't trying to call me. You know, I got a call from a block number, but ain't nobody called me for real. And the guy says, oh, no, that's Russ. That's him calling you, right? And Marshawn, like, hold on, why is he calling me from a block number, treating me as if I'm a fan or I'm some type of crazy fan that's going to call his number, blow his phone up or something like that, right? We're teammates. He hands the ball off to me. I'm in the backfield. I'm in the backfield with him. Why is he acting like, you know, I'm just some strange guy, a stranger or something, right? So then he says when he calls, when Russ, when he gets in contact with Russ, he's trying to relay the same message that I told you all. Hey, you know, sorry, today didn't go. I know today didn't go how you wanted it to go. You know what I mean? But going forth, you know, we make sure we put you in the best position to have a better game, whatever. And he said really Russ really wasn't receptive to it. It was kind of like he really wasn't hearing him well, or not like he couldn't hear him, but he wasn't taking in that conversation, that he wasn't taking in Marshawn's words in a certain way or whatever. He wasn't taking strong to the words, right? And that's where he was like, oh, it was just a big disconnect, right? And then he spoke about a time where they're in practice and Russ is doing something, I forgot what it was, that other people would get reprimanded for, right? And Russ is not getting reprimanded. He's not getting any type of, I hate to call grown men getting punished, but, you know, he not getting reprimanded for things that other people get in trouble for. Nobody says something, but everybody notices it. And then Richard Sherman, he fed up. He calls it out. He like, listen, man, you know, y'all know Richard Sherman, he a straight shooter. He like, man, no, Pete. And I'm paraphrasing again. How come he get off the hook for stuff that we would get in trouble for or whatever? So they got an issue with it and everybody else agrees. Pete Carroll then goes to Marshawn Lynch, goes to Richard Sherman and all these other individuals saying, if y'all got a problem with Russ, y'all come to me. Y'all got a problem with something Russ got going on, y'all come with me. Y'all talk to me. Don't go to him. Don't go to Russell Wilson. Y'all come straight to me. And Marshawn Lynch's like, hold on, wait a minute. He a member of this team. He's a grown man. Why can't we have conversations with him if he does something and we be like, oh, no, you can't do that? Or why can't we have conversations with him face to face about something that we may feel like, hey, this is not okay, or this may be unfair, etc. Right? But Pete Carroll wasn't trying to have it. He said, y'all talk to me. And I feel like Pete Carroll did it for a reason. I feel like, and some people I might be in the minority with saying this. Russell Wilson comes from an upper middle class family. Russ, when he first got out of college, I saw him talk. I saw his je ne sais quoi. I saw his aura. I saw a young man who had not been around a lot of black folks like that. When I say black folks, I'm talking about common black folks, everyday black folks that you can find in the hood. You know what I mean? And I'm not just talking about ratchet, wild, ignorant black folks. I'm talking about just common black folks, you know, from that you can see, just your everyday average black person. I don't think Russ was around those people, right? And so because I don't think he had a strong connection to like black culture within itself and black people, I think it's even harder for him to relate to people who come from a hood background like a Marshawn Lynch, you know, like a Richard Sherman, even though Richard Sherman went to Stanford, is a Stanford graduate. He's from Compton, California, you know? And so, and all that whole, that Legion of Boom defense, all hood as hell. You know what I mean? And I think he was weary of interacting with them. I really do. Because he doesn't come from their makeup, from their background. I think he was kind of standoffish to them because he didn't know how to take them. Now, Russell Wilson was at NC State before. I'm sure with some hood dudes on the team possibly. But I know at Wisconsin, with the Badgers, in Madison, Wisconsin, hell no. He was not encountering individuals like Marshawn Lynch, like Cam Chancellor, like Earl Thomas. He wasn't Cliff Averill. He wasn't encountering individuals like that on an everyday basis. The Bennett brother, Michael Bennett. Not yet, Martellus played. Michael Bennett. He wasn't encountering individuals like that regularly. And I think he was kind of weary of that. You know, honestly, for real, y'all, not even trying to be funny. I think Russ's, the majority of his experience with the black experience has come from his wife, Sierra. Has come from being married to her. Right? Again, when I saw his aura coming out of college, and when I say this, I'm not trying to be funny, because black is not one way to be black. Black people are not monolithic. But I can see his aura and how he came across. I can see it. I can see why he was married to a white woman. It would be appealing to the everyday white woman. A black man who was coming off like Russ did when he first came out of college. It was a lot of G Willikers, G golly whiz, G gosh, G whiz about him, right? And that's really what it was. And I don't think he had any connection to that. And I seen Russ Mama, man. Russ Mama seems like a strong, she seemed like, you know, she's a black woman, but not seem. She is a black woman, of course, obviously, but she seemed to be more connected to certain parts of black culture than him. And again, it's about, you know, the environment you're raised in. When I see Patrick Mahomes Sr., Pat Mahomes Sr., like a dude that was raised in the hood, around dudes that was smoking them Black and Milds, man. Around dudes that was in the inner city community. Pat Mahomes Jr., I can tell he wasn't raised in that environment. He was raised in an upper class environment, around a diverse setting, not around a whole lot of black folks like that. And Russ was not raised around a lot of black people, so I think he was weary of that. And I'm not trying to make fun of the brother or belittle him, right? Because I don't think there's nothing wrong with being well-spoken or anything like that. I admire him in his relationship with his wife. I admire the love he shows her. I respect, you know, him rearing young Future. When he met Sierra had a child. He rears him as his own son. I respect the stand-up man that he is. But I also can see that it was obvious. And that's why when Channing Crowder got a lot of flack. Now, I didn't like how adamantly he wanted to call Russ a cornball and a corny-ass dude. And he's a fucking cornball. He's a fucking cornball. He was so adamant in saying that, how he was saying it. But I also understand that Russ does not have the swagger of the regular, everyday, inner-city black man. He does not. Okay? And I don't think he's used to being around people who exhibit that swagger. And I think he probably was a little bit nervous or weary of certain interaction with them, or he just didn't understand them. And so to him, he like, I'm going to stay far away. I'm going to stay far away from your ass. All right, cool. We can talk. But, hey, you ain't going to have my number calling me and all that. I don't know if I should be associating with y'all outside of work like this. I think it was a little bit of that. And also, man, Russ may be a guy who just really is aloof and not a super connected teammate like that, you know? But yeah, I think a lot of that friction came from Pete Carroll and them trying to make Russell. Pete was trying to divide. He saw that Russ was not like them. And I think he may have saw that Russ probably felt uneasy around some of them in certain settings because he's not used to being around them. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I think some of them probably was making fun of Russ for being a Carlton Banks. Russ was probably a a little less around black culture than even Carlton in a certain way. You know what I mean? And I think it was some people in that locker room making fun of them. Some of them Negroes in there is a little ignorant, right? And some may say, how can a white, because it's been hood dudes around quarterbacks who are golly whiz white men. How could guys like Tom Brady relate to those individuals? How could guys like, you know, I don't know, Matt Ryan and all these individuals be around hood dudes and relate to them so well? And how can a Russell Wilson, a black man, who he's a golly whiz black man, just like a lot of the other white quarterbacks is golly whiz, how come he can't relate to them? And I think too, man, when you're a black quarterback, look at the other black quarterbacks that's been in this league. A lot of them have been swaggy. They got a lot of swagger about themselves. They exhibit black culture for real. Outside of RG3. I'm talking about Michael Vick, Cam Newton, Lamar Jackson, even individuals like or maybe a Justin Fields, or, you know what I mean? I see him in the Dougie and all that, doing Atlanta type, Georgia type stuff. The Georgia boy like dances and all of that, right? I've seen other quarterbacks, other black quarterbacks that just, they have that certain swagger that a lot of other black quarterbacks have exhibited, and Russell doesn't have that. And I think they saw that, and I think some of them was probably making fun of it. I think some of them was making fun of the fact that Russell is not, again, he's not from the same cloth as them. And also, you know, maybe it became a thing where, I'm reaching, I don't know. They can't listen to Future like that, maybe, or were they listening to? I don't know. Were they listening to it? Russell was dating Future's ex-girlfriend and the mother of his child, Sierra. Did that create some contention with that, listening to Future music in the locker room, or they couldn't listen to it, or to appease Russ? I don't know. But I think some of that, the disconnect, Russell's disconnect with the black experience, his disconnect with black culture, could have caused a rift in a way, because he's just so not used to seeing certain guys who carry it like Marshawn Lynch. And I think he kind of he was a little standoffish to it. You know what I mean? And I think he just treated that like a job. And honestly, in a game of football, and see, people try to equate it to the everyday job. I don't think football equates to the everyday corporate job and a corporate America job, right? In corporate, you can not like somebody and work side by side with them and get the job done, and it be what it be, right? In football, camaraderie is important. Men are trying to take your head off. That is a violent sport. When you're close with your teammates, you're gonna ride for them and go all out for them because you see them as family. You're not gonna want to. You're gonna want to give it your extra umph. You know, that's what makes championship teams when teams are close knit. You're gonna want to fall on the sword, the figurative sword for them, because you look at them like your family. So you're gonna be willing to protect the quarterback. You know what I mean? You're gonna be willing to block if you're a running back. Sometimes block for your quarterback. You're gonna be willing to go all out for him. Likewise, the quarterback, the offensive line is gonna trickle throughout the whole team. Camaraderie is important in football, man. You can't just be another guy next to you. And to be a winning team, it can't be like that. It's gonna be some guys like that, but for majority of the championship teams, them dudes be knowing each other. They be close to each other. They be one of the guys. You know what I mean? And I think Russ was straying away from being one of the guys, one of the fellas, because I think he was weary of interacting with them. Would they make fun of him? You know, and maybe they didn't, but who knows? Maybe they made fun of him. Did he feel insecure about his lack of connection with the black experience to where he wanted to be standoffish from them, right? I don't know. Them dudes curse a lot. You know, they got a different look to them. They got a different slang to them. They got a different type of aggression out there. And Russ he can handle aggression as far as like physicality, because he's a damn quarterback getting sacked by linebackers and defensive linemen. Like, he can handle that. But I just think maybe their tone, maybe how they came across was maybe not, it wasn't appealing to him, and he wanted to stay far away. You know, but I really think Russ was weary of probably interacting with them, like, because he's just not used to being around them type of guys. Marshawn from Oakland with the golds in, you know, he gonna give it straight to you. What's happening, homie? You feel me? He gonna talk with he gonna talk with that accent. Hey, check it out, check it out. So look. He not gonna be, hey Russ, so gee willikers, we can go and do that, and we can do it precisely. If we can look at the particulars of everything, we're gonna just knock it out of the park, huh? It's gonna be swell. All right, guy? Yeah, man, because you're a great guy. You know, Marshawn don't carry it like that, man. And a lot of them other dudes don't. And I think when Russ saw that, he like, damn, I don't connect with that. Are they gonna call me out for not being like them? You know what I mean? You kind of like the episode of Fresh Prince where Carlton was not seen as a brother because he carried it different. And I'm not saying they were bullying him. I don't know. But maybe they weren't. And in his mind, he felt like, I don't know if they're going to call me out for not being as their same ilk. Because the Seattle Seahawks team was full of them dudes with that certain type of character and bravado. Their whole defense had that shit on them. When I say that shit, I'm talking about that black aura on them. Black folks from the hood aura. Black folks from, black folks from inner city. Black folks, even if you from the country, that aura that you've been around black folks all your life. That aura of the guys that you can find at HBCUs on a regular, man. And I don't think, and what's crazy is Russ's family has connections to HBCUs, Jackson State, etc. But I just don't, he didn't grow up in that environment. So I just think he just didn't know how to perceive and how to handle that. And unfortunately, it damaged the relationship with his teammates. He alienated them in a way because he just wanted to stay away. And maybe it has nothing to do with the black experience. Maybe it's just who he is as a person. Maybe he's just not a person who's super talkative and super close-knit with certain guys, and he just want to be close-knit with his family and his whatever. But I do think there was a disconnect I personally think it was a disconnect based upon his lack of connection to black culture, black community, etc., and his lack of connection with the common black folks in everyday society, not upper echelon black folks, not black bourgeoisie, the bougie black folks. I don't even know how to pronounce that word for real. Bourgeoisie. He's used to hanging out. If he's around black people, I think he's used to hanging around black people who are upper middle class like him, the Huxtable type black people. And while I admire that image for sure, I just think he just never had a chance. He just never was around people like Marshawn Lynch, and he was just like, yo, this shit is beyond me. Keep them over there. I'm gonna stay over here. I can play football with them. But hey, Pete, and I think Pete recognized that, oh shit, these are two different dudes. Russ is a certain type of way. And we got to be able to just keep him in his zone and keep him in his zone as a quarterback and keep him developing. Just keep them far away from each other. Keep Richard Sherman. We're going to keep Earl Thomas. We're going to keep Cam Chancellor. We're going to keep Cliff Averill. We're going to keep Michael Bennett. We're going to keep Marshawn Lynch them away from Russ in certain conversations unless it's football related. On the field stuff, not football like, oh, you need to be in charge. Unless it's just communication as far as how the offense is being run. That's it. And I would think Pete Carroll wanted to keep it to that because he saw he wasn't comfortable. His comfortability was not there with that. I may be wrong, but what do y'all think? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, Machiavelli Mills TV. I'm out. Peace.